Today, we're diving into an emotional story that's been making waves around the world. Portia de Rossi, after her surprising divorce from Ellen DeGeneres, has finally spoken out. What really happened behind the spotlight of this iconic couple, heartfelt confessions, and never-before-revealed truths about love loss and the journey of finding herself will be unveiled. Leave comment number 1 below to share your thoughts and see what Portia has to say about life after divorce and the powerful lessons she's learned. Hello, I'm Portia, and this is my wife, Ellen. We've been together for 16 years and married for 12. The last time you appeared on the show, you surprised me on my birthday, something I never expected. The love story of Portia de Rossi and Ellen DeGeneres captured the world's attention. But now that the dust has settled, Portia is ready to share the truth about her journey after the divorce, heartfelt confessions, and surprising insights about love loss and moving forward. Portia de Rossi, born Amanda Lee Rogers, grew up in a small town in Victoria, Australia. Her life seemed ordinary until tragedy struck. Her father, Barry Rogers, passed away when she was just 9 years old. Losing her father at such a young age shattered Portia's world, leading to lifelong struggles with her identity and sense of belonging. Her mother, Margaret, a medical receptionist, became the family's sole provider after her father's death. Portia grew up in Grovedale, a suburb of Geelong, and appeared early in front of the camera through print and television advertisements. However, she often felt disconnected, like a young girl searching for herself amidst pain and uncertainty. At the age of 15, she decided to change her name to Portia de Rossi, inspired by a Shakespearean character and the Italian surname de Rossi. This was more than just a name change. It was her way of escaping the pain of her past, like shedding an old skin to become a new version of herself. Portia's acting career began with a small role in the film Sirens, 1994, but it wasn't until she moved to Los Angeles that she truly broke through. She worked hard to eliminate her Australian accent in order to fit into Hollywood. Her big success came in 1998 with the role of Nell Porter in Ally McBeal, which thrust her into the spotlight but also brought its own pressures. Portia kept her sexuality a secret, living in fear of being discovered in an industry that was not always accepting of those who were different. Although her career continued to grow with the role of Lindsay Bluth-Funke in Arrested Development 2003, her personal life was fraught with challenges. In 1996, Portia married filmmaker Mel Metcalf, but the marriage was a failed attempt to obtain a green card. They divorced in 1999, leaving her feeling lost and uncertain. From 2000 to 2004, she dated director Francesca Gregorini, but still feared publicly coming out due to concerns about judgment and backlash. It wasn't until 2004, when she met Ellen DeGeneres, that Portia found a new light in her life. Ellen, a prominent figure in the LGBTQ+ community, brought her a sense of peace she had never experienced before. In 2005, Portia publicly acknowledged her relationship with Ellen in interviews, finally shedding the heavy burden she had carried for so long. They got married in 2008 in Beverly Hills in an intimate ceremony. For Portia, it was a moment of stepping into the light after years of living in the shadows. However, she still faced struggles with body image and eating disorders, specifically anorexia and bulimia, that dated back to her time on Ally McBeal. In 2010, she opened up about these painful experiences in her autobiography, Unbearable Lightness: A Story of Loss and Gain, hoping to help others who were fighting similar battles. In 2018, Portia unexpectedly announced her retirement from acting, except for potential returns to Arrested Development. This decision marked a new chapter where she found peace in her love with Ellen and their shared passion for animal rights. Together, they supported various charities such as Locks of Love and the Gentle Barn. However, Portia also faced the darker side of fame. In 2017, she revealed a disturbing incident during an audition actor Steven Seagal had harassed her. By speaking out, she hoped to inspire other women. What do you think about Portia de Rossi's emotional journey and the challenges she has faced? Leave your thoughts in comment number 2 below to share your perspective on her story. Ellen DeGeneres also had a challenging journey. In 1973, at age 15, her parents' divorce shattered her world. Her mother, Betty, remarried Roy Grusendorf, and they moved to a small town in Texas, leaving Ellen's brother Vance with their father. Life in Texas brought no comfort, only more pain. Roy, who should have protected Ellen, abused her, exploiting her mother's breast cancer as an excuse for his wrongful actions. One night, when Roy tried to force his way into her room, Ellen fled, spending the night in a hospital to escape him. She kept this secret for years, and when she finally told her mother, Betty didn't believe her, staying with Roy for another 18 years, leaving Ellen to face the trauma alone. Despite her broken family, Ellen pressed forward. She graduated from Atlanta High School in 1976, but dropped out of college after one semester. To make ends meet, she took on various jobs, from selling clothes to waiting tables and bartending. In the smoky clubs of New Orleans, Ellen found her voice through comedy. In 1981, she became the MC at Clyde's Comedy Club, and by 1984, Showtime crowned her America's Funniest Person. Comedy became her armor, helping her overcome pain and connect with others. Ellen's career soared with the sitcom Ellen 1997, where she and her character came out as gay, making history, but sparking intense backlash. The show was canceled, but Ellen didn't give up. She returned with The Ellen Show 2001, though it didn't succeed. In 2003, The Ellen DeGeneres Show launched, becoming an American television icon with her warmth and humor. However, rumors of a toxic workplace in 2020 brought criticism. Ellen took responsibility, expressing disappointment and vowing to make changes. "I'm not perfect," she said, "but I'm trying." In July 2024, Ellen shocked the world by announcing her complete retirement from showbiz. "This is the last time you'll see me," she said, closing an era. The woman who made millions laugh for decades stepped away from the spotlight. Ellen's financial success was remarkable. In 2020, Forbes estimated her earnings at $84 million, ranking her the 12th highest-paid entertainer globally. In 2015, her net worth reached $370 million, and she was named the 50th most powerful woman in the world. On social media, Ellen's influence was massive. In 2018, she had 76 million Twitter followers and 55.8 million on Instagram. By November 2023, her Twitter following slightly dropped to 75 million, but her Instagram skyrocketed to 139 million, cementing her as a top global influencer. Off-screen, Ellen is a huge NFL fan, cheering for the New Orleans Saints and Green Bay Packers. She once showed up at a Saints practice dressed as Packers legend Don Hutson, showcasing her humor and knack for self-deprecation. But behind these lighthearted moments, Ellen's personal life remained full of challenges. In 1997, Ellen came out as gay, a decision that shook her career and personal life. The ensuing media storm caused significant harm, but her mother, Betty, though initially shocked, later became a staunch supporter of Ellen and LGBTQ+ rights. From 1997 to 2000, Ellen dated actress Anne Heche, followed by photographer Alexandra Hedison until 2004. However, her relationship with Portia de Rossi truly shaped the next chapter of her life. Portia and Ellen first met in 2000 at a Hollywood event. At the time, Ellen was already a renowned comedian and talk show host, openly gay in a world that wasn't fully accepting. Portia, an up-and-coming actress, kept her sexuality hidden, fearing it would harm her career. There was a spark between them, but Portia wasn't ready. It wasn't until 2004, when both were single, that they began dating. Ellen, openly proud, helped Portia navigate her journey to living authentically. "I had built walls," Portia said, "and Ellen was the first person who made me feel safe enough to let them down." When their relationship became the center of attention, Ellen and Portia emerged as icons of love, especially for the LGBTQ+ community. Ellen was at the peak of her career, while Portia gained recognition for her role in Arrested Development. They were often seen hand in hand, sharing an undeniable closeness. In 2008, after California legalized same-sex marriage, Ellen proposed to Portia in a private moment at home. Their wedding was simple yet beautiful, attended by close friends and family. They exchanged vows to stand by each other forever, a triumph not only for them, but also for those who admired them. Though their marriage appeared perfect from the outside, Ellen and Portia faced significant challenges. The growing pressure from Ellen's career strained them both. By 2014, rumors of a rift surfaced. Constant scrutiny and the expectation for Ellen to always be on and cheerful exhausted them. Portia, who had long battled eating disorders, struggled to live in Ellen's shadow. She yearned to carve out her own space, but that was difficult beside someone as famous as Ellen. Ellen's relentless work hours left Portia feeling lonely even when they were together. In 2018, Ellen considered ending the Ellen DeGeneres Show. She was exhausted by the pressure to always be cheerful. "I'm just tired," she confessed to Portia. In that moment, it seemed things might change. Portia supported the idea, hoping they could spend more time together and mend their growing rift. But ultimately, Ellen renewed her contract, and the distance between them widened. Then the 2020 pandemic hit, changing everything. Ellen faced accusations of fostering a toxic work environment. The media storm was relentless, with the scandal dominating headlines. Portia publicly stood by Ellen, but the strain within their family was immense. The stress from the controversy, combined with existing cracks in their relationship, began to take a toll. They argued more frequently. Ellen, always determined to control her public image, started imposing that same need for control at home, leading to conflicts. They tried therapy, attempting to talk through and patch the gaps that had formed over the years, but their efforts fell short. The love that once felt strong and unshakable had become fragile. Ellen's relentless focus on her career and Portia's growing sense of isolation created an insurmountable distance. Ultimately, they couldn't save their marriage. After years of trying, they faced the painful truth: the passionate love they once shared wasn't enough to hold them together. They still cared for each other, no doubt about that. But sometimes, care isn't enough. Sometimes love isn't enough to overcome life's challenges. "We tried," Portia quietly said after the divorce, "but some things are too broken to fix." Their once fairy tale-like love story didn't end with fireworks, but with a quiet, emotional goodbye. Behind the dazzling spotlight of hit TV shows and on-stage smiles, the love story of Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi is a complex symphony filled with joy, tears, sacrifices, and lessons in growth. They were once an admired model of same-sex love and an icon for the LGBTQ+ community, but they also faced private challenges few could have anticipated. Ellen DeGeneres, with a career spanning decades, is a woman who reshaped the landscape of American talk shows. She brought audiences not only laughter, but also warmth, empathy, and a message of self-acceptance. However, that glittering career came with immense unseen pressure. Offstage, Ellen was meticulous about maintaining her positive public image. Yet the constant pressure to appear cheerful and perfect in front of millions gradually took its toll. Interviews and articles have revealed that Ellen struggled deeply to balance her public persona with her true emotions. Portia was not only Ellen's partner, but also a talented actress with her own challenging journey. Born in Australia, Portia endured numerous childhood hardships and sought her true self through name changes, career roles, and personal transformations. Her relationship with Ellen marked the most significant turning point in that tumultuous journey. Like Ellen, Portia faced pressures from her career and public scrutiny, especially standing beside someone as famous as Ellen. She once shared the difficulties of maintaining her independence and unique identity while constantly being under the spotlight and compared to her partner. When they went public with their relationship, Ellen and Portia were more than just a couple. They became symbols of courage and pride. They overcame societal prejudices, asserting their right to love and live authentically. Their 2008 wedding in Beverly Hills was a significant milestone not only for them but also for the global LGBTQ+ community. In the early years of their marriage, Ellen and Portia were widely seen as a happy couple building a home together and supporting each other's careers. They frequently appeared on TV shows and major events, showcasing their harmony and genuine affection. However, no one could fully see the challenges they faced. The pressures of their careers, relentless media attention, and constant rumors gradually wore down their relationship. Portia repeatedly faced mental health challenges, particularly long-standing eating disorders, which she described as an unending battle. Standing beside a star like Ellen sometimes made her feel overshadowed and stripped of her own identity, leading to feelings of loneliness even when with the person she loved. Ellen, too, wasn't spared her own crises, from the pressure to maintain her public image to allegations of a toxic work environment on her show. These storms led to frequent tension, arguments, and exhaustion between them. At one point, Ellen considered ending her show to focus more on family, but her career kept pulling her back. The years 2018 to 2020 were arguably the toughest for them. When the toxic workplace scandal erupted, public and media pressure reached a fever pitch. Portia struggled to maintain her privacy while standing by Ellen during her most challenging moments. Differences in how they handled stress, coupled with Ellen's intense focus on work, widened the gap between them. They tried multiple times to seek therapy and talk through their issues to mend the cracks, but their individual struggles were too overwhelming, rendering those efforts less effective than hoped. The love story of Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi is a vivid testament to the complexities of modern life. It's not just a tale of fame and media pressure, but also a lesson in being true to oneself, the power of love, and the necessity of forgiveness and letting go. For the LGBTQ+ community, they were once icons of courage and pride, inspiring countless people worldwide to live authentically. And though they are no longer together, the values and messages they shared will endure. There's no denying that Ellen DeGeneres is one of the most influential television figures in the world. From her image as a friendly, humorous host to an active social advocate, she has inspired multiple generations. Her personal brand has grown diversely, encompassing her TV show lifestyle brand and charitable efforts, contributing to raising awareness about numerous social issues. Portia de Rossi, though not as famous as Ellen, has also left a mark on the public with her acting career and inspiring life story. She represents those who struggle with themselves, overcoming challenges to rediscover their true identity and find genuine happiness. The journey of Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi is a complex tale of love and modern life, moments of triumph, silent pain, sacrifices, and tough decisions. They were once icons of courage and pride, but they also faced their own limitations and external pressures. Their story isn't a fairy tale with a perfect ending, but a testament that even the most passionate love requires balance, harmony, and patience. When those elements fade, letting go can also be a form of love. They will always cherish the memories, laughter, and joyful moments. After years of trying, Ellen and Portia chose separate paths. Their story closed with the same grace and gentleness that defined their time together. They loved deeply, but sometimes that isn't enough. Even the most intense love is tested by personal struggles and external pressures. Portia and Ellen shared countless moments of happiness, support, and love, but some wounds never fully heal. Perhaps the best way to heal is to let go. What do you think about Ellen and Portia's story? Is love or career the greater challenge? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more authentic and emotional stories. It has been 48 years since the legendary King of Rock, Elvis Presley, left us. Yet the enigma surrounding his life still captivates fans across the globe. And now, a previously off-limits section of Graceland, the mysterious upstairs, has finally been opened to the public. Let's take a closer look at this intriguing space, which could reveal untold memories and personal treasures tied to the icon himself, Elvis Presley. If you're an Elvis fan, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0 to share your thoughts. And make sure to like and subscribe to support us, and stay tuned for more exciting videos uncovering hidden secrets in the world of music and culture. Enjoy the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to support our channel. However, there's still a part of Graceland that remains a mystery. An area upstairs has been sealed off for decades. This space has never been seen by the public and remains shrouded in secrecy and intrigue. In this video, we'll uncover the mystery behind those locked doors. Why has this area been kept off limits for so long? What makes it so sacred and untouchable? Stay tuned as we dive into the captivating mystery that continues to fascinate fans and curious minds alike. Located in the heart of Memphis, Tennessee, Graceland is more than just a house. It's a memorial. As you approach, its grand entrance gates welcome you into the world of Elvis Presley, a world that continues to draw millions of visitors each year. The mansion, surrounded by lush gardens and expansive grounds, offers a glimpse into the life of a rock and roll legend. The striking white columns and majestic presence of the mansion immediately capture your attention, making you feel as though you're stepping into something extraordinary. Graceland is not just a home, it's a shrine to Elvis's legacy, carefully preserved and showcased for fans from all around the world. Inside, every room tells a story, rich with history and personality. The famous Jungle Room is one of the most memorable spaces, with its green shag carpet, Polynesian-style decor, and vibrant atmosphere that reflects Elvis's unique style. It feels like a room frozen in time, a monument to Elvis's larger-than-life personality. In stark contrast, the quiet meditation garden behind the house offers a peaceful space that reflects a more contemplative side of Elvis. It is here, in this tranquil space, that Elvis was laid to rest alongside his family members. The garden feels like a quiet pause amid the whirlwind of energy that is Graceland. As you tour the mansion, you're guided through rooms filled with gold records, each one marking a milestone in Elvis's extraordinary career. These records are more than just plaques on the wall. They are symbols of a musical revolution. Each one marks a moment when Elvis changed the course of music history. His private jets, which once carried him across the country, are also part of the experience. Each aircraft offers a glimpse into his life on the road. But while the public areas of Graceland are vibrant and rich with history, there is one part that time and curious eyes have never touched: the upstairs. While the rooms downstairs are filled with life, stories, and memorabilia, the second floor remains a quiet, untouched space. It stands in stark contrast, a part of the house set apart from the rest. The vibrant decor of the jungle room, the sacred stillness of the meditation garden, and the golden records all shine in their own unique way. However, the upstairs holds something different, an untold story hidden from view. Its silence echoes more powerfully than any other room. The upper floor of Graceland, where Elvis truly found peace, remains off-limits. It was the one place he could escape the chaos of fame, a private space, far from the flash of cameras and the constant attention of fans. While visitors admire the splendor downstairs, the rooms upstairs hold a deeper mystery. The contrast between the vibrant life celebrated in the public areas and a world that has never been touched, hidden above. That difference is striking. A house that tells a story of fame, yet one chapter remains forever locked away from the world. On August 16, 1977, the world lost one of its greatest legends. Elvis Presley, only 42 years old, was found unconscious on the bathroom floor of Graceland. An abrupt end to the life of the king of rock and roll. The circumstances surrounding his death, officially attributed to a heart attack, raised many questions. Fans, the media, and the public were shocked, eager to uncover the truth behind the man who had changed the course of music history. Elvis's final moments were shrouded in mystery, fueling speculation about the toll fame had taken on him, his emotional struggles, and his prescription drug dependence. As the world tried to understand why the king fell so suddenly, the Presley family made a bold decision, a decision that would only deepen the mystery surrounding Elvis's legacy. After his death, the sacred space upstairs, which had served as Elvis's refuge from the pressures of fame, was locked. Since then, the second floor of Graceland has remained sealed, the doors never to be opened to the public. Unlike the other areas of the mansion, where visitors can freely walk around and view the exhibits, this space is completely off-limits. No one, not even the most famous guests, is allowed inside. The upstairs is not just a room or a series of spaces. It is a profound part of Elvis's life, a place where he could escape the chaos and simply be himself. It was his private world, untouched by the constant demands of fame. Why was the upstairs locked immediately after Elvis's death? The answer lies in the desire to protect something deeply personal, something that, for the Presley family, was sacred. The upstairs was not just a collection of rooms. It was where Elvis lived privately, away from the eyes of the public. It was where he found peace, comfort, and serenity. In many ways, it was his true home, the only space in Graceland where he could shed the weight of fame and live authentically. The Presley family knew that keeping the upstairs sealed off wasn't just about protecting material possessions. They were safeguarding the sanctity of Elvis's private life. The rooms upstairs have been kept exactly as they were the day Elvis passed away. His belongings remain untouched. His clothes still hang in the closet, his records are by the bed, and his favorite chair sits facing the TV. It feels as though time has stopped in that space, as if the upstairs was frozen at the moment Elvis's life ended. This is not an ordinary preservation. It is an act of reverence. The family chose to leave this part of Graceland intact, not to satisfy public curiosity, but to honor Elvis's memory and respect his privacy. The upstairs was where Elvis could retreat, where he could shut the door to the world and find peace. It was not just a place to sleep or relax. It was his sanctuary. Away from the bright lights and the constant noise of fame, the upstairs provided Elvis with the tranquility he needed. It was in this space that Elvis could escape the expectations placed upon him and rediscover the man behind the superstar. The rooms were not just functional, they were a reflection of his personality and desires. The bookshelves, filled with spiritual and philosophical texts, reveal his quest for meaning and understanding. The carefully chosen furniture and decor express his love for comfort and peace. And the view from the window overlooking the grounds of Graceland offered him a sense of calm, a moment of rest from the world below. When Elvis passed away, the upstairs was not just where he had lived. It became a symbol of everything he sought to protect: his privacy, his peace, and his truth. By sealing off this space, the Presley family ensured that the upstairs would remain a tribute to the man who created it. No one would enter that space without permission, preserving it so the world could not take away the last part of Elvis Presley that was truly his. Ultimately, the upstairs of Graceland is not just a physical space. It is a profound testament to the complexity of a man who was both a global superstar and an incredibly private individual. On the morning of August 16, 1977, the world was forever changed. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was found unconscious on the bathroom floor of Graceland, his beloved home. Only 42 years old, his death sent shockwaves through millions of fans, the music industry, and the entire world. The official cause of death was said to be a heart attack, but unanswered questions quickly emerged. How could such a vibrant figure who had changed the world pass away so suddenly? What led to his unexpected death? The media, eager to find answers, flooded the news with speculation, rumors, and wild theories, trying to piece together the final moments of the man who had revolutionized music. Amid this chaos, the Presley family faced their own pain and despair over the loss. But they also made a decision that would speak volumes about their respect for Elvis and his legacy. Rather than turning the upstairs of Graceland, where Elvis spent his final moments, into a tourist attraction or part of a public display, they chose to preserve it exactly as it was, untouched and sealed off. The upstairs, where Elvis retreated for private moments, was made off limits. It was a decision that many found odd in a world obsessed with fame, publicity, and the constant demand for more. While the rest of Graceland would be open to the world, this private space remained sacred, locked away to honor the man who had called it home. The Presley family's decision to keep the upstairs private came from a deep sense of respect. To them, It wasn't just a room or a floor in the house. It was the heart of Elvis's private life, a place that had been his refuge from the prying eyes of the public. By sealing it off, they not only protected his memory, but also shielded his soul from the commercialization that had followed him throughout his life. They understood that Elvis had lived much of his life under a microscope, in a world where every detail was scrutinized and every moment turned into entertainment. The last thing they wanted was to turn his final private sanctuary into an exhibit in the endless parade of his public persona. Graceland had already been a treasure trove of Elvis's achievements and memorabilia. Visitors can walk through many rooms in the mansion, admire his gold records, sit in his famous jungle room, and even board his private jet. The public is welcome to explore these parts of Elvis's life, but the upstairs remains off-limits, a space set apart from the noise. This is where Elvis lived as a human, not as an artist. The Presley family saw this as a way to protect the dignity of the man behind the legend, to shield the most private parts of his life from becoming just another page in the story of Elvis Presley. It was an act of love and remembrance, a gesture that honored both the man and his music. In contrast, the world outside of Graceland was eager to turn every moment of Elvis's life into a form of entertainment. Fans and the media were drawn by the desire to know more, to piece together the final details of Elvis's story. The public wanted to know every detail, every possible answer, and many quickly turned his death into a tabloid frenzy. However, the Presley family, faced with this pressure, chose to stand firm in their resolve. They understood that some things simply had to be preserved as sacred. The upstairs of Elvis's home was a part of his private world, a sanctuary that provided him with peace in a life full of chaos. By locking it away, they ensured that this final space, this last refuge, would not be invaded. It would remain untouched by the endless thirst for details of a celebrity's life. This decision stands in stark contrast to the public's endless pursuit of transparency. In a world where every moment of a celebrity's life is analyzed, filmed, and sold for profit, the Presley family's choice to keep the upstairs locked away serves as a rare reminder of the power of privacy. It is an act that highlights the importance of maintaining boundaries in an increasingly invasive world, where every personal detail is commodified. The family's decision not only protects Elvis's final sanctuary, but also reminds us that there are parts of a person's life that are simply too important to be consumed by the public eye. The staircase to the second floor of Graceland is a symbol of one of the most guarded boundaries in the history of fame. It is not just a staircase leading to another part of the house. It is both a physical and emotional barrier, a dividing line that no one is allowed to cross, not even the most distinguished guests. The clearest example of this rule was former President Bill Clinton's visit to Graceland in 1989. Clinton, a devoted Elvis fan, was warmly welcomed by the Presley family to the mansion. But even he, one of the most powerful people in the world, was politely denied at the staircase. Despite being the president, Clinton was unable to access the upstairs, and the door to Elvis's private world remained firmly shut. For many, this act of exclusion may seem strange, even unreasonable. How could a famous figure like Elvis have a part of his life that even a sitting president couldn't see? But this was precisely the essence of Elvis's philosophy when it came to his personal space. There was a part of his world that belonged solely to him. a space where no fame, power, or status could intrude. The concept of privacy in the world of celebrities is rare, especially in a culture where fame is often tied to exposure. Nowadays, celebrities are often expected to share every aspect of their lives with the public, from social media posts to reality TV shows. But Elvis was different. He understood the value of privacy, and more importantly, he knew that there were aspects of his life that had to remain concealed. The upstairs of Graceland was his most sacred space, and he chose to keep it private even from those closest to him. In a life filled with public appearances, constant media attention, and the ever-present spotlight, the upstairs was the only place where Elvis could truly be himself, away from cameras and the noise. It was his final sanctuary, and he took great care in preserving it. The level of protection over the upstairs was akin to that of a museum vault, where precious artifacts are kept out of reach, maintained in their original state. This wasn't about hiding something shameful or secret. It was about protecting a part of Elvis's life that was too valuable to be exposed. The family didn't want to exploit this space for commercial gain or curiosity. They wanted to keep it intact, untouched, and preserved as a tribute to Elvis, not for entertainment or profit. The rooms upstairs, never altered since his passing, are almost like a time capsule, frozen at the moment Elvis left. Nothing has been moved. Nothing has been rearranged. It feels as though that space still holds the final traces of the man who lived there. This extraordinary level of privacy, the decision to keep this part of Graceland off limits, is a testament to Elvis's desire to control his personal space. It reflects his belief that there are things too sacred to be made public, too personal to share with the world. In an era where every detail of a celebrity's life is consumed by the public, Elvis's firm decision to keep the upstairs as his private space set him apart from others, as someone who valued uniqueness and tranquility above all else. One of the most famous figures to experience this special access was actor Nicolas Cage, a longtime Elvis fan who, at the height of his career, married Lisa Marie Presley. Cage was given a rare glimpse into the upstairs and described the experience as surreal, haunting, and deeply emotional. However, despite his close connection to the Presley family, Cage has remained silent about what he saw behind those closed doors. There is a strange and eerie story involving Chewy Thompson, a social media influencer with no official connection to the Presley family or the Graceland estate. Thompson's story is completely different from others because it involves an unexpected invitation to the upstairs during a routine tour of Graceland. According to Thompson, while on the tour, he was approached by a man in a staff uniform who escorted him away from the group, through the mansion, and up the staircase that had been sealed off for decades. Thompson, accompanied by 2 guards, was taken upstairs to the rooms that the public had never been allowed to see. However, what he encountered in those rooms remains a mystery, as Thompson refuses to speak about it. Not a single word, not on social media, not in interviews, and even when pressed for details, he does not reveal anything. His silence only deepens the mystery, and speculation about what he saw spread like wildfire. Was Thompson's experience a mistake, an accidental slip-up by staff, Or was he chosen for some deeper, more mysterious reason? What is it about the upstairs that fascinates some individuals, like Thompson and Cage, to the point where they are granted access while the rest of the world remains locked out? The secrecy surrounding their experiences, especially Thompson's decision to remain silent, raises a host of uncomfortable questions. One thing is being invited into a private space, but another is being asked to keep it a secret. What is inside that compels someone to remain silent, even when faced with the intense curiosity of the public? And why has no one ever publicly described what lies behind that sealed door? In addition to these strange encounters, there have also been persistent rumors that further fuel speculation. Over the years, whispers about Elvis's private life, particularly the possibility of secret children, have circulated. Several women have come forward claiming to have had secret relationships with Elvis, and in some cases, even suggesting they were his children. Some of these claims have been completely dismissed, while others have faded away without any explanation, leaving a void for more questions to arise. The most shocking rumors suggest that there may be undiscovered family members still hidden from the public eye for reasons that no one can fully understand. Is there a deeper connection between these rumors and the secrecy surrounding the upstairs rooms? Could the Presley family be concealing certain truths? Truths that could shake the image of Elvis as we know it? These rumors and strange stories about those who have entered the upstairs of Graceland only add to the mystery. Is there a hidden history in those rooms that the public is not allowed to know? Could Elvis have wanted to keep something so private even from his family, close friends, and the world? The answers seem to lie somewhere between speculation and secrecy. As the stories of Nicolas Cage, Chewy Thompson, and the persistent rumors continue to spread, the upstairs of Graceland remains a sealed vault. What lies within is known only to a select few, and those who have caught even a glimpse of its mysteries hesitate to reveal the truth. Perhaps, like many aspects of Elvis's life, some mysteries simply must remain unsolved. As the mystery of Graceland's upstairs continues to captivate the imagination of fans and historians alike, an increasing number of theories have emerged about what could lie behind that sealed door. For decades, speculation has swirled around the rooms that remain locked away from the public, each theory more intriguing and bizarre than the last. Some people believe that the upper floor contains more than just Elvis's personal belongings and memorabilia. Could it be hiding deeper, more troubling truths about his life, his death, or even parts of his family history that have been kept in the shadows? These theories range from plausible to bizarre, but they all share a common thread: a deep curiosity about the unknown. One of the most intriguing theories suggests that the upper floor may hold clues to the mystery surrounding Elvis's death. While the official cause was reported as a heart attack, many still question if something else happened. Theories about Elvis's health, his dependency on prescription drugs, and the pressures of fame have fueled suspicions for years. Could the upstairs contain evidence, medical records, personal journals, or items related to that fateful day? Things that could shed light on what truly happened during his final hours? Perhaps it holds artifacts that reflect the physical and emotional pain Elvis endured in his final years. It's these possibilities that have led some to believe that the upstairs is not just a frozen-in-time space, but a storage vault holding the untold final chapter of the King of Rock's story. Another theory suggests that the upstairs could be hiding aspects of Elvis's family history that have yet to be revealed. There have been persistent rumors about Elvis having children out of wedlock, buried family secrets, and relationships that were never publicly disclosed. Could there be documents or images stored upstairs that reveal a part of Elvis's personal life the public has never known? If so, those rooms might hold the key to some of the most enduring mysteries surrounding his relationships, heritage, or individuals connected to him in ways never previously disclosed. The idea that Elvis's family history could be more complicated than we know only deepens the mystery surrounding the upstairs. But the story doesn't end with just speculation about what might be hidden behind that sealed door. Over the years, there have been numerous reports from visitors and staff at Graceland about strange and unexplained phenomena emanating from the upstairs. Some claim to have heard footsteps, faint voices, and even laughter, sounds that seem to come from the second floor, even when no one was allowed there. These eerie sounds, described as unsettling and otherworldly, only fuel wilder speculations. Could these be the traces of Elvis's spirit, lingering in the space where he spent so much of his life? Or are these more specific signs, evidence suggesting that the upstairs holds more than just physical possessions? The regular occurrence of these strange sounds has led many to believe that the upstairs may somehow be alive, holding a mysterious energy of some kind. Whether that energy is connected to Elvis or something else remains unclear. These unexplained sounds only add fuel to the growing speculation about what is hidden behind the locked doors of Graceland. Could it be that the upstairs holds secrets far beyond imagination, secrets about Elvis's personal life, the suddenness of his death, or even things about the Presley family that no one has dared to face? Stories of these eerie sounds have sparked a wave of theories, each more bizarre than the last, continuing to fuel the imaginations of millions of fans who long for answers. As we explore these theories, it's important to remember that the upstairs of Graceland remains one of the most tightly guarded secrets in the world of rock and roll. No one has ever been able to cross that final frontier, and clearly the Presley family remains determined to keep everything that way. The upstairs is not just a part of Graceland. It is a symbol of the untold aspects of Elvis's life and legacy. Whether it holds the answers to the long-standing questions about his death, family, or personal struggles, the truth remains locked away, perhaps forever. But as long as those doors remain sealed, the theories will continue to flourish, and the allure of the upstairs at Graceland will never fade. The upstairs of Graceland is not just a series of rooms. It is Elvis Presley's private sanctuary, a holy space where he could escape the immense pressures of fame. In a life constantly exposed under the spotlight, where every action was monitored and every personal detail was exploited, the upstairs offered Elvis a rare sense of privacy. That space was where he could truly be himself, away from the cameras and the noise of the celebrity world. It was the only place in Graceland that truly belonged to him, a private world where he could find peace amidst the chaos surrounding him. The upstairs was where Elvis could shed the persona of the king of rock and roll and simply be Elvis, unseen, unjudged, and most importantly, free. The room was carefully designed to provide comfort and privacy, with his bed, custom-made to his specifications, placed to maximize relaxation. Elvis was known for his late nights, often reading books or reflecting until the early hours of the morning. The bed, surrounded by bookshelves, became his sanctuary, a place for him to immerse himself in his thoughts. Among those books were works of philosophy, religion, and the mysteries of life, subjects that Elvis was particularly drawn to in his later years. His love for spirituality was well documented, and the books in his room reflected his quest for deeper meaning in life. These weren't just casual reads. They were a reflection of his desire to understand and connect with something greater than himself. The room also contained personal items that revealed more of the true person behind the spotlight. Carefully chosen favorite records were within easy reach. The atmosphere in the room was one of deep tranquility, completely opposite to the vibrant and grand persona Elvis portrayed to the public. In this private sanctuary, Elvis had the space to simply be himself. The decor reflected his unique taste, blending comfort and elegance in a way only he could. The atmosphere was one of peace, contrasting sharply with the bustling spaces downstairs, where his achievements and public image were on display. The upstairs was the only part of Elvis's world untouched by outside demands. Visitors, fans, and even close friends were not allowed into this area, a rule that ensured this space was never invaded by the public eye. This was the space Elvis fiercely protected, the only part of his life that he could fully claim as his own. In a world that was constantly watching him, this was the only place he could retreat from all the noise, a rare refuge that offered solitude and peace. Yet, it's impossible to deny that the upstairs, while a sanctuary, also carries a bitter undertone. It was where Elvis's life came to an end. The room that once provided comfort and escape for him became the place where his tragic final moments unfolded. Elvis was found unconscious on the bathroom floor, only a few steps away from his bed. By opening the secret upstairs of Graceland, we not only get a glimpse of important historical artifacts, but also an opportunity to explore aspects of Elvis Presley's life and career that have never been seen before. Every corner of Graceland holds stories and memories that make this legend immortal in the hearts of his fans. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and share this video with fellow Elvis lovers. Stay tuned for more exciting videos and remember to hit subscribe to stay updated on the most fascinating content. Have a wonderful day. We were definitely very lucky to have the same team for 13 years, and because of that, everyone I work with is very close. However, Frank Danielle Kai's life changed forever when Mike Wolf was convicted of murdering Frank Fritz, the office manager of American Pickers, known for his tattoos, classic style, and indifferent attitude. Now she is facing an unimaginable difficult situation. If you found the story about Frank and Danielle Kai's life interesting, don't forget to like and share this video so everyone can explore it together. Leave a comment with the number 0 below the video to share your thoughts on the difficult situation they are facing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more shocking and exciting stories in the future. Initially, Colby appeared as a reluctant witness for the prosecution. She tried to maintain a neutral stance throughout the investigation, but as the evidence became increasingly clear, she began to feel that she could no longer remain on the sidelines. The complex relationships within the American Pickers team and the tension between the members made every decision more difficult than ever. New shocking evidence has placed her at the center of the controversy, and this continues to shake the world of antique collecting. Federal investigators announced yesterday that they are expanding their investigation to include Colby after discovering a series of encrypted text messages between her and Wolf in the days surrounding Fritz's death. These messages, recovered from a backup server, paint a disturbing picture of the possibility that Colby knew about the events leading to the murder. Although she has not been charged with any crime, the pressure on the reality TV star has intensified as authorities dig deeper into the activities of American pickers, which seem to become more sinister with each new revelation. Colby initially received support from fans for her emotional testimony during Wolf's trial, where she appeared visibly shaken as she described changes in his behavior. "I noticed Mike became obsessed with being the sole face of American pickers," she testified through tears when talking about reconciliation with Frank. "He became defensive and angry." Her testimony was seen as crucial in securing Wolf's conviction, showing how he increasingly became controlling and paranoid about the possibility of Fritz returning to television. However, digital forensic experts working for the FBI have uncovered evidence suggesting that Colby may know more than she revealed in her testimony. According to court documents released this morning, Colby exchanged over 200 messages with Wolf in the week leading up to Fritz's death, some of which discussed Fritz's medication schedule and when he would be home alone. One particularly damning message was discovered, complicating the investigation further and raising more questions about Colby's true role in these events. The message was sent just hours before Fritz was found unresponsive, stating, "He's currently alone. No one is scheduled to check on him until tomorrow. Window closed." Wolf's reply was, "Handled. Delete this thread." These revelations shocked Colby's fans, who had considered her one of the most genuine characters on the show. They sympathized with her position. Caught between two thieves at odds with each other, never suspecting she could have been involved in the events leading to Fritz's death. Colby's attorney, Margaret Wilson, issued a statement this morning, denying any wrongdoing. Colby has fully cooperated with authorities from the outset of this case. The messages in question were completely taken out of context and do not show any understanding or involvement in criminal activity. The investigation into Colby's connection began when investigators reviewed security footage from Fritz's neighborhood. In the footage, Wolf's car was identified as having arrived at Fritz's residence on the night he died. An advanced analysis of the footage revealed that a passenger remained in the car when Wolf entered the house. Although the facial recognition software did not provide a conclusive result due to the quality of the footage, the passenger could have been Colby. When questioned about this during Wolf's trial, Colby denied being at Fritz's house the night he died. This further fueled suspicion, especially when financial records showed that Colby received a $175,000 transfer from one of Wolf's shell companies just 2 days after Fritz's death. The transfer was labeled as business consulting fees, but investigators found no evidence of any legitimate consulting work. Additionally, Colby purchased a property in Puerto Rico where she spent considerable time just weeks after this payment. Prosecutors are investigating whether this was a payment to maintain her silence. The relationship between Colby and Wolf appears to be far more complicated than the friendship portrayed on television. Members of the crew have spoken out, describing the tense private relationship between the two. A production assistant recalled witnessing a heated argument between Colby and Wolf about Fritz in the months before he left the show. She had told Mike that Frank was becoming a burden and the show would be better off without him. The assistant recalled, "When I walked in, both of them were silent and acted like nothing had happened." The newly discovered diary of Fritz, found in a separate storage, reveals his increasing paranoia towards Wolf and Colby. Fritz wrote, "They whispered when I was near, and I caught them looking through my prescriptions." This completely contradicts Colby's statement during the trial, where she claimed that Fritz fully trusted her and often confided in her about his deteriorating relationship with Wolf. Prosecutors are now examining Colby's testimony for potential perjury charges. History Channel, where American Pickers airs, issued a statement distancing itself from Colby in light of these troubling allegations. "We have suspended all professional relationships with Ms. Colby until the investigation is concluded. We are committed to fully cooperating with authorities to uncover the truth surrounding these tragic events." Colby's rapid rise to fame through American Pickers led her down an unexpected career path. Initially hired to manage Wolf's antique store, she quickly became a fan favorite and grew increasingly prominent on the show. After Fritz's departure, she took on a larger role and often accompanied Wolf on picking trips. Investigators are now looking into whether the expansion of her role and financial compensation are linked to her involvement in a conspiracy against Fritz. Colby's former friends have expressed shock at these allegations. "This is not the Danielle I thought I knew," shared Erin Murphy, who worked with Colby at Antique Archaeology for many years. Looking back, there were times when she and Mike were focused on private conversations, and she became increasingly secretive about certain aspects of the business. Colby's public image had always been that of an independent and strong woman who maintained her own identity in a male-dominated industry. The investigation has revealed suspicious activities within the business of American Pickers. Financial records show that Colby managed several offshore accounts, with profits from valuable items possibly being redirected to evade taxes. These accounts were set up under shell companies like Vintage Solutions LLC and Rusty Gold Enterprises, which received millions of dollars over the years. Withdrawals from these accounts often coincided with major purchases made by Colby and Wolf. Forensic accountants have traced approximately $3 million. $2 million flowed through these accounts over the 5 years leading up to Fritz's death. What particularly caught investigators' attention was a series of withdrawals totaling $450,000 in the months prior to Fritz's death. This money was not accounted for as any legitimate business expenses. When questioned about these accounts during Wolf's trial, Colby claimed she knew very little about the program's financial activities, a statement that contradicts newly discovered documents bearing her signature as the authorized account manager. Legal experts monitoring the case suggest that Colby could face charges ranging from complicity to murder, obstruction of justice, and financial crimes, depending on what the expanded investigation uncovers. Former federal prosecutor James Harrington, who has closely followed the case, noted that the text messages alone present a serious legal risk for Colby. If prosecutors can prove she knew what Wolf was planning and either provided support or failed to report it, she could face significant prison time. The fallout from the investigation has extended beyond the legal scope, directly affecting Colby's other business ventures. Her online vintage clothing store has seen a sharp decline in orders, and several scheduled appearances at burlesque events have been canceled. Her social media accounts, once filled with vintage fashion and behind-the-scenes glimpses of her life, have remained silent since the new allegations surfaced. Wolf's reaction to the expanded investigation, which now includes Colby, was a notable moment. When informed during a prison interview that she was now under close surveillance, witnesses described him smiling for the first time since his conviction. He was reportedly heard saying, "She knows everything. Ask her about the storage in Davenport. Ask her what we found in Frank's journal." The prison officials ended the interview shortly after that. Fritz's sister, Lisa, who had rarely appeared in public throughout the trial, issued a brief statement through her attorney. "Our family has suspected from the beginning that more than one person was involved in Frank's death. We trust the authorities to uncover the entire truth, no matter how painful it may be, and that is what justice deserves." Former crew members have described an increasingly tense and secretive work environment in the years leading up to Fritz's departure and subsequent death. Former cameraman Jason Miller stated, "It felt like there were two versions of American Pickers. One was the folk treasure hunting show that the audience saw, and then there was the whole other operation behind the scenes. Danielle was always at the center of that second world, managing information and controlling who had access to Mike." Miller also recalled witnessing Colby erase pages from Fritz's personal notebook when he left it unattended during filming. At the time, he didn't think much of it, but now, looking back more suspiciously, he recalled, "She said she was just monitoring the items he cared about so they wouldn't bid against each other, but I was really frustrated when I noticed the missing pages." The investigation is also raising questions about the authenticity of the show. The documents recovered from Wolf's office after his arrest revealed that many of the photos featured on the show had been prearranged, with Colby coordinating with property owners to stage the discoveries. In some cases, valuable items were placed at specific locations to create more dramatic television moments. Colby handled the financial arrangements to compensate the property owners for their involvement in what amounted to elaborate staging. While such activities are not uncommon in reality television, they are in stark contrast to the spontaneous image that American Pickers had cultivated throughout its airing. What's even more concerning are the signs that this deception extended to the on-screen relationships depicted in the show. Text messages between Colby and Wolf, discussing how to maintain the storyline and keep Frank in his designated role, reveal that their on-screen dynamics were carefully manipulated to benefit certain members at the expense of others. At a small cemetery outside Iowa, cars lined the narrow gravel roads more than ever as the television crew, antique collectors, and curious onlookers gathered behind hastily erected barriers. A team of experts was preparing to open Frank Fritz's granite tomb. The beloved American star had passed away a year earlier, and the decision to relocate his final resting place, initially seen as a simple move for local land development, had turned into a major media event. But no one could have predicted the discoveries that would ripple through the world of antiques and beyond. The decision to relocate was made when the small cemetery where Fritz rested was acquired by developers, with plans to expand a nearby historical museum. Ironically, this was the very type of location that Fritz himself may have once visited during his treasure hunting days. Fritz's family reluctantly agreed to the relocation, hoping the process would be simple and that they would be moved to a larger memorial garden just 20 meters away. However, when news of the relocation leaked, the public interest exceeded all expectations. Local officials were overwhelmed and ultimately agreed to allow limited media presence, with the proceeds from the filming rights to be donated to the Crohn's Disease Foundation, honoring Fritz, who had battled the illness throughout his adult life. Although the family initially hesitated, they supported the decision, believing that Fritz would have appreciated the funds being used to help others suffering from the disease. Fritz's sister, Lisa, told reporters, "Frank never wanted any fuss, but he always wanted to help others in the way he could." On the morning of the relocation, the sky was clear and cool. Cemetery workers had prepared the site the day before, clearing the path for equipment and setting up a working area for the experts. Dr. Eleonora Chambers, an experienced archaeological conservator, was invited to oversee the process, ensuring everything was handled with the appropriate care and respect. Dr.